To understand Russia, you must first grasp its sheer scale and extremes. This is a land where nature operates on a grand, dramatic stage, where glittering cities meet frozen forests, and hardship is met with resilience. Daily life is a negotiation with vast distances and wild seasons, shaping a people who find rhythm and meaning in adversity. Russia is a nation of contradictions. Ancient traditions beside modern realities, opulence next to humble villages, poets and soldiers, ballerinas and workers. The real stories are found not in grand speeches, but in quiet kitchens, shared laughter, and enduring bonds of family and friendship. Join us as we journey beyond headlines to explore the lived experiences, deep shifts, and everyday heroism that define this extraordinary land. Russia is the largest country on Earth, stretching from the icy Arctic in the north to the sun-drenched shores of the Black Sea in the south. Its vastness is almost unimaginable, spanning 11 time zones and covering more than 1/8 of the world's inhabited land area. This immense scale means that at any given moment, Russians are experiencing everything from polar night to summer sunshine, all within the same nation. The sheer size of the country dictates every aspect of life, from the way people work and travel to how they celebrate holidays and connect with one another. In bustling cities like Moscow, life moves at a rapid pace, while in remote villages, traditions and routines are shaped by the land and the seasons. The landscape itself is a powerful force. Siberian winters freeze mighty rivers solid, turning them into icy highways for months on end. Snow blankets the forests and fields, creating a world of white silence where only the hardiest survive. Meanwhile, thousands of kilometers away, the Black Sea coast basks in warm sunlight. Here, palm trees sway and people stroll along the waterfront, enjoying a climate that feels worlds apart from the frozen north. Survival in Russia is a daily battle against the elements, with communities relying on both ancient wisdom passed down through generations and the ingenuity of modern technology. Elders teach the young how to read the land, while farmers adapt to the ever-changing seasons with new tools and techniques. The legendary Trans-Siberian Railway offers a hypnotic panorama of birch forests, snow-capped mountains, and remote villages. As the train winds its way across the continent, it reveals the heart and soul of Russia, a land of contrasts, endurance, and quiet beauty. This immense geography instills a unique sense of place and resilience, binding people to the land with both reverence and practicality. Life here demands resourcefulness, patience, and a deep respect for nature's power. Whether tending fields as a farmer, tracking game as a hunter, or selling produce at a bustling market, Russians know the land both gives and takes. It shapes a culture as hardy and enduring as the terrain itself, where every season brings new challenges and opportunities. In the face of isolation and long, harsh winters, Russians find warmth and community in each other. Through shared meals, celebrations, and simple acts of kindness, they endure together, bound by the land, the climate, and a spirit that thrives from ice to sun. Russia's striking gender imbalance, millions more women than men, shapes the nation's social fabric. Rooted in a century of war and upheaval, this gap is now deepened by modern pressures and conflict. Women live longer, often outnumbering men by a wide margin, especially among the elderly. Today, single women are not just grandmothers, but young professionals and mothers, navigating life on their own. This reality fosters remarkable female strength, independence, and deep networks of solidarity. Yet traditional expectations persist, creating tension between the desire for partnership and the reality of the numbers. Female friendships become lifelines, forming extended families and support systems. Beneath the strength, there's a quiet melancholy, a longing for partnership that for many remains elusive. The war in Ukraine has dramatically widened Russia's gender gap, leaving a trail of heartbreak and loss that stretches across families and entire communities. In the quiet corners of rural Russia, the impact is especially stark, as the absence of so many young men is felt in every home, every street, and every gathering. The war's shadow lingers, touching the lives of those left behind in ways both visible and invisible. Tens of thousands of young men are gone, sent to the front lines, lost to violence, or missing in action. Their absence is a raw, unhealed wound, especially in rural regions where military service is often seen as the only path to stability or a better future. Now, these towns are marked by empty playgrounds, silent streets, and memorials that grow with each passing month. Grief is concentrated in these small towns, where nearly every family knows someone who has been lost or wounded. The pain is communal, shared in hushed conversations at memorials and in the quiet moments at home. The sense of loss is not just personal, but collective, a sorrow that binds neighbors together even as it threatens to pull them apart. Women left behind are forced to become sole providers, raising children in the long shadow of loss. They must navigate a maze of bureaucracy to access support, all while managing the daily realities of grief and uncertainty. Many juggle multiple jobs, care for elderly relatives, and try to maintain a sense of normalcy for their children, even as their own futures feel uncertain. In the face of these challenges, women have formed powerful support networks. They organize fundraisers, share vital information, and offer each other emotional support. Their resilience is a quiet but determined defiance against despair, a testament to the strength found in community and solidarity during times of crisis. For the men who remain, the psychological scars run deep. Anxiety over possible mobilization, survivor's guilt, and the constant uncertainty about the future weigh heavily on their minds. Many struggle in silence, their fears and trauma rarely spoken aloud but ever present in their daily lives. The war has reshaped family dynamics, deepened Russia's demographic crisis, and left a collective trauma that will echo for generations. Empty chairs at dinner tables and somber family portraits are daily reminders of those who are missing, and of the uncertainty that now defines the future for so many. Behind the headlines and statistics are millions of individual stories, stories of loss, resilience, and the profound human cost of conflict. These are the stories that shape the soul of a nation, and that will continue to unfold long after the fighting has stopped. In Russia, history is lived daily, not just studied. The victory in World War II, the Great Patriotic War, is the nation's foundational myth, a source of pride and unity. The state frames current events through this lens, presenting new conflicts as continuations of past struggles. Memorials and commemorations keep this narrative alive, reinforcing a sense of shared sacrifice and resilience. On Victory Day, families march with portraits of ancestors, and symbols of military valor are everywhere. This patriotism unites people, but also shapes a worldview of strength, sacrifice, and loyalty to the state. It's a legacy that defines the present and casts a long shadow over the future. Patriotism is instilled early in Russia, woven into education and youth programs. Organizations like Unarmia, the Young Army, teach children military skills and history, blending summer camp with basic training. These activities build discipline and a sense of belonging, framing military service as a civic duty. Projects connect youth with veterans, ensuring stories of sacrifice are passed down. State funding supports hundreds of initiatives focused on historical memory and national pride. This environment shapes young people's understanding of their country and their role within it, leaving little room for alternative views. The message is clear: Russia's greatness is rooted in heroic struggle, and every citizen must be ready to defend it. Russia is not simply one country, but two distinct worlds existing side by side. On one hand, the bustling megacities, and on the other, the quiet, often overlooked provinces. In Moscow and St. Petersburg, life moves at a relentless modern pace. Skyscrapers rise above historic streets, and the energy of millions pulses through crowded metros and busy cafes. Here, opportunities abound in technology, finance, and the arts. Young professionals chase ambitious dreams, and the city's lights never seem to dim. But outside these urban centers, a different reality unfolds. Small towns and villages are marked by limited job prospects, aging infrastructure, and a daily struggle to make ends meet. Life moves slower, and the economic disparity is impossible to ignore. Salaries in regions like Bashkortostan are often just a fraction of those in the capital. For many young men growing up in these rural areas, military service becomes the only realistic path to financial security, a decision made out of necessity rather than choice or ideology. Families watch their sons leave, hoping for a better future, but fearing the risks that come with it. The war's human cost is felt most deeply in these rural communities, where every loss is personal and the absence of a single young man can be felt throughout the village. Meanwhile, urban life continues almost untouched, with city dwellers often insulated from the harshest realities of conflict. The divide between city and countryside only grows deeper. In the provinces, the price of war is paid in blood and lost futures. The economic gap is no longer just about money, it has become a matter of life and death for many families. This growing fracture between urban and rural Russia is reshaping the nation, leaving millions caught in the middle, uncertain of what the future holds. In the end, the true cost of conflict is not just measured in statistics or headlines, but in the lives and dreams divided by this widening chasm. Amid hardship, Russia's defining trait is the resilience of its people. Joy is found in small moments, a shared meal, laughter in a friend's kitchen, a walk through birch forests. Friendship is sacred, built on loyalty and mutual support, often outlasting trust in institutions. The kitchen is the heart of the home, a sanctuary for honest conversation and comfort. Love persists despite demographic imbalances and conflict. People continue to marry, build families, and hope for the future. These acts of optimism are quiet defiance against adversity. From the babushka tending her garden to the musician in the subway, Russians seek light and beauty, no matter the darkness. This pursuit of happiness is the true heartbeat of the nation. Russia defies easy categorization. Its vastness and contradictions can't be captured by headlines alone. To truly see Russia, look beyond the Kremlin to the homes and villages where real lives unfold. The daily realities are shaped by epic forces, climate, history, and demographic shifts, but lived in deeply personal ways. It's easy to see Russia as a geopolitical adversary, but that risks erasing the humanity at its core. Think of the women raising families alone, the young men facing impossible choices, and the friends sharing laughter in a Moscow kitchen. By seeking to understand their hopes and fears, we build empathy and find common ground. In our shared humanity lies the truest path to understanding this extreme, resilient, and profoundly human land.